Oster Bait Liber Estherae Caput 2. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Because remember, Vashti means that she had an exceptional bottom and what was attached to that. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdoms, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, under the custody of Hegai the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their ointments be given them, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Yair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. Remember, you say Y for J and W for V. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, the king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away, and he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. See, we're talking about Ishtar here. And Mordecai, Marduk lives, but we'll get into that more after the reading. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Hegai, that Esther was brought, also unto the king's house, to the custody of Hegai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. Esther had not showed her people, nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did, and what should become of her. Now, it was often the case in these stories of male and female deities, so-called, that, they make their appearance, and you don't know that you're dealing with the deity. Of course, when you're dealing with actual divinity, everything in creation, that's part of your relationship with divinity. That's why religion is not just church. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now when every maid's turn was come to go in to King Ahasuerus, After that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished. To wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women. And going back there, and Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Doesn't that sound like a ritual element or something too? Remember Marduk and Ishtar. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name. Now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast, and he made a release to the provinces, and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her, for Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, 2 of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth, and sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen, and Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name. And the matter was inquired unto, and was found out, and they were both hanged on a tree. And it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king. And verse 14, her betch kaf is the note. Verse 5, Ketzel Bala Mulf Atcher Hadbrim Hala Keshik Chumt Hamluk Ach Shurush Zikr At Wishti Wat Asher Ashta Wat Asher Nagzer Alia We Amru Nari Hamluk Mashritu Yimqashu Limluk Narut Batulut Thubut Murah Weepqan Hamluk Bakadim Bakal Madinut Mulkutu Wikbatsu at Kul Nar, Betula, Thubat, Murah, Al Shushan, Habira, Al Bait, Hagshim, Al Yad, Hagba, Thris, Hamlak, Shimmer, Hanshim, One Tun, Timrakyahan, Nara, Asher, Tethab, Bayani, Hamlak, Tamluk, Tetched, Wishti, Wiyithab, Hedber, Bayani, Hamlak, Wiash, Kan Aish, Yahudi, Hya, Bashushan, Habira, Washmu, Merdiki, Ben Yer, Man Shemai, Ben Kish, Aish, Yim Yini, Asher, Hagla, Mirushnim, Am, Hagla, Asher, Haglata, Am, Yaknya, Malak, Yahuda, Asher, Hagla, Nebuchadnezzar, Malak, Bubble, Wihi, Aman, at Hedsah, Hya, Aster, but to do Ki Ain Lah Ab Wam Wa Nara Yipt Tar Wathubt Marah Wab Mut Abya Wam Lakcha Merdaki Lu Lipit Wihi Bah Shema Dipper Hamluk Wood 2 Wab Hakbats Narut Reboot Al Shushan Habira Al Yad Hagi Wit Lakach Aster Al Bait Hamluk Al Yid Yangi Shimmer Hanshim Watithab Hanara Bayanyu Witsha Chusad Laknew Weebhol at Timrukya Wat Hanutya Latat La Wat Shab'a Hanarut Hrayut Latat La Mabyat Hamlak Wishna Wat Narutya Lathub Beat Hanshim La Hagida Aster at Amah Wat Mudata Ki Merdaki Tzwa Alya Asher La Tagid Wabkul Yum Merdaki Mat Hulk Lapni Chetzer Bait Hanshim Ladat at Shalom Aster Wamah Yasha Bah Wab Hagya Ter Nara Wan Arah Labwa Al Hamlak At Shurush Makat Hute La Kadet Hanshim Shanim Asher Chadash Ki Kun Yam Lao Yami Maruki Han Shasha Chadshim Bushman Hammer Washah Chadshim Beb Shamim Wab Tamruki Hanshim Wabzah Hanara Bah Al Hamlak At Kul Asher Tamar Yint Yinton La Labwa Amma Beat Hanshim Ad Bait Hamlak Barab Ya Bah Wabakar Ya Shba Al Bait Hanshim Shani Al Yid Shah Shuglas Saris Hamlak Shamur Hapi Lagshim La Tabwa Aud Al Hamlak Ki Chipats Ba Hamlak Wankra Busham Wab Hagya Tur Aster At Ab Yitchil Ded Merdiki Asher Lakatsu Labat Labwa Al Hamlak La Baksha Deberki At Asher Yammer Hagi Saris Hamlak Shamur Hanshim What he Aster Nash At Chin Ba Yani Ko Ray What Lakach Aster Al Hamlak At Shurush Al Bait Malkutu Bachdush Hashiri Hwa Chadash Thubat Bashnat Shab'a Lam Lakutu We Ahab Hamlak At Aster Mukal Hanshim Wacha Chin Wach Sud Lapnew Mukal Haptilut Wisham Keter Malkut Marasha Wimlika Touched Washti Wiash Hamlak Mashta Gadul Lakal Shuryu Wabdu At Mashta Aster Wahnacha Lamdinut Asha Wheaton Mashat Keed Hamlak Yeb Hakbats Batulut Shanit Wam Rudki Yeshib Bush Ar Hamlak Ain Aster Magdat Muludta Wat Amma Kasher Tzwa Alya Murdaki Wat Mummer Murdaki Aster Asha Kasher Hita Bamna Atu Bimim Hechem Wam Rudki Yushab, Bushar, Hamluk, Katsaf, Bugtun, Wutrush, Shani, Sarisi, Hamluk, Mashmari, Hastaf, Weebkashu, Rashlich, Yad Bumluk, At Shurish, We Wood Ah, Hedber, Limrudki, Wigd, Laster, Hamlukka, Wat Amr, Aster, Limluk, Busham, Murki, Weepkush, Hudber, Weetsa, Wheatlu, Shaniham, Al-Atz, Weektab, Buspur, Debris, Hinim, Lepni, Hamluk. Hadas is a myrtle tree or something bit or stamped to pieces. For Aster, see also Asherah, Ashtrut, Aster can relate to demolishing something secret, something covered, something absent, something kept close, something disguised. But the aleph in front of it could mean to negate that somehow. It could mean that it's great. Murd is rebellious. Rebellion. You know, because the the Marduk myths are often of a usurper. With the ch instead of the calf, you know, because this is thought to be a contraction, like Manakai and some other terms. You instead of chi at the end, lives or life.